Hi guys, today we have on board with us Ayesha Saleem, VC at Lakson Investments Limited and Special Advisor at the ESG Foundation. Ayesha, today we discuss you and your achievements with the hope that the community learns and grasps some useful tips and strategies along the way. So let us begin.
Hi, Ali. Nice meeting you. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Thank you so much,
Just
ma'am.
as a way of introduction, my name is Ayesha, and I am an associate at Lakson Venture Capital. I've been associated with them for about 2.5 years, so really been in the thick of the VC industry since really it's become very interesting because it was 2020 when I joined. Pakistan kind of started emerging as the hot destination for foreign investments, for international funding. You saw some of the largest funding rounds in 2020, and then there's records being beaten in 21 and then subsequently 2022. And then we've also seen, obviously, the different kind of global and macro issues which have also happened in the last 2.5, 3 years, which is COVID. So seeing businesses survive and the challenges that posed. Then obviously seeing this rush of funding where there was cheap capital available. So a lot of VC funding coming in, how companies were trying to capture those funding dollars. And then obviously more recently with the political and economic uncertainties, global and macro issues, you've seen the VC funding drying up. So how companies have been, trying to cope with that and extend their runways, the shifts in, the VC cycles. So it's been, very, very interesting kind of working through those different cycles, supporting our existing portfolio companies, making the new investment decisions in this climate, and then obviously supporting the ecosystem as a whole. Besides that, I'm also a special advisor at the ESG Foundation. So that's something which I just generally feel very passionately about. So in terms of background, my own background is in economics, game theory, strategy. And I used to be in London for a few years. Then while I was actually at Lakson, I was in New York for a couple of years too. So it's actually kind of exposed me to different working environments, the different kind of considerations there across the globe. And that's something which I do with Lakson and independently as well, where we try to be pioneers in the ESG space to try to identify and educate companies in Pakistan about the importance of focusing on ESG. So what we traditionally see is that there's a very one-sided lens of just making money or profits. But while I do understand that businesses obviously have to do that to survive, there's also that element where I'm interested in is that how companies can help themselves achieve their own goals by focusing on those different values and increasing their corporate governance, their social policies, etc. So it's been an absolute pleasure doing that over the last 2.5 years, working with companies, helping grow them, support them, and just generally helping the ecosystem grow. And it's been great to see how far it's come along, just even since I joined and got involved in this space.
That's wonderful, Ms. Aisha. Your efforts in helping the tech ecosystem in Pakistan grow and supporting startups, especially female co-founders and founders, to get Pakistani talent recognized internationally is obviously commendable. How do you feel now that you look back at the success that you've attained?
Honestly, in the journey so far, I think and I don't think this is something which is just directed at me. I would also like to kind of make it a point to call out all the other VCs, all the other people in this space who've been doing a great job, some of them a lot longer than I have. We've seen Kulsum and Misbah who've been doing this and really supporting female co-founders and kind of helping grow that space. So I think I'm just one of the many who are trying to do work on this aspect. And I think it's been something which we've shouldered being in this space because we are amongst the first wave of venture capital funds which were launched, right? So when, for example, the Lakson Venture Capital Fund, which came into being 2018, 2019, other funds also came in, around the similar spaces at similar times. We saw the ecosystem was very, very different to what we see it as right now. We saw the founders are very different. We still see some funding, albeit very, very little, in female co-founded startups or founded startups. But we still see some talk or some narrative being generated about it now compared to 5 years ago. So I think the first generation of venture capitalists, they've really taken it on themselves to kind of help build that space, because for us it wasn't just funding companies and making a return. For us it was also helping the ecosystem grow, because you know if the pie is bigger and if there are more people, more companies, more founders to invest in, everyone benefits, us and everyone else. So I think it's a joint collaborative efforts, and we've really seen the ecosystem has come so far in the last few years, with the founders getting much better, female co-founders getting a more prominent space. We've got, some like By Gallery is co-founded by Meena Salman. She actually started the company. They've done a great job in growth, great job in traction. So we're very, very happy to support, female co-founders and female startups. And also, even if they're not in our portfolio, I generally personally make it a point to kind of interact with them, associate with them, and help not just the women founders, honestly, but all startups just improve and get better where possible.
So, Ms. Ayesha, I'm sure you're aware of how Park Launch has also successfully managed to provide an opportunity to tech-savvy individuals by offering a platform where they get the recognition that they deserve. With regard to this, what would you comment on the upcoming Unconference 23 in January in Dubai? And do you think there is an opportunity for growth in the Pakistani tech industry?
Yeah, so let me just tackle the question about the growth in the Pakistani tech industry. So absolutely, there's a room for lots and lots of growth in the tech industry in Pakistan. We've still seen the industry kind of growing and maturing to some extent, but it's still untapped. The opportunity still remains untapped in terms of new companies coming in, new sectors still being yet remaining to be explored. And then obviously there are also the other elements, which is the legal, the finance, all the other aspects of the VC world, which still require a lot more people, a lot more growth, a lot more in terms of regulations to be coming in. So absolutely, I think there's a lot of space to grow. And to that end, Park Launch has been doing a phenomenal job in just helping untap that opportunity, make those linkages, connect people, and help the ecosystem grow in general. I think Park Launch has played a very fundamental role in actually helping get the Pakistani ecosystem on the international map, get investors alerted towards it. So many, there's so many different investors who all are linked towards because of Park Launch, because of the community they've built up. Even I myself have benefited a lot through the Park Launch community, where I've been able to kind of build relationships with international firms, international investors, when they're, in co-investment opportunities, sharing those opportunities across. So it's been, they've done a great job, and Ali's been very, very supportive in every aspect to help the ecosystem grow, be it getting funding dollars or be it making connections. They've done a great job, and I'm super excited about Park Launch Dubai 2023. I attended the 2022 San Francisco event this year, and it was executed wonderfully. The people were very, very nice. They'd done a great job in getting the right mix of investors and tailoring the startups there and helping lots of investments, they've come out of it. And also personally, it wasn't just felt to help investors and startups interact. It was also good for startups to meet other startups, investors to meet other investors, build their LP portfolio, etc. So I would definitely suggest everyone to kind of tune in, try to attend the Dubai conference, because from my expectations, I think it's going to be better than even the San Francisco one. Even though San Francisco, in my opinion, was probably one of the best tech events I've attended so far.
We see that there are numerous new small and medium-sized businesses emerging with huge potential for ample growth, like you said, obviously. What advice would you be kind enough to give them that may prove to be helpful for them?
So yeah, we've seen a lot of new companies coming in, and it's great to see lots of new businesses kind of still coming in. And existing businesses also kind of trying to survive and struggle through these current times. I think one thing which is important is like, for companies which are on the fence about is it the right time to start or not, there's always going to be cycles economically, right? There's always going to be a boom and a bust period. And I think companies which investors actually, they really look at companies which have survived through the different economic cycles. So it's very easy for businesses to raise money and to survive and to kind of have a lot of marketing spend and high burn rates and get to a certain point when capital is available cheaply, when funding is available cheaply. But it's also a challenge for companies to survive through these economic downturns. And we've seen a downturn right now. We'll see it continuing for the next couple of months, and then you'll see a reversal, and then you'll see the same exuberance in growth. But there's again going to be a downturn. That's how the cycles go. So for companies which are here for a longer term, which are really intent on building something, there's no right time. Just kind of, focus on your vision, have a clear idea, have a clear vision, and build on that. If you believe in your business and you work on it, there's nothing which is going to stop it from growing, right? Because money is still available. We're still investing. Other companies are still investing. We're just being a little more protective about our investments, and we're just looking that, are you guys actually sustainable? Will you be able to ride out? We don't want to put our money in and have you close in 2 months, right? So that's the general long-term view which companies should be taking, that, we should build something which is there to last, not just to get cheap capital. And, honestly, like, even I've seen companies, they're trying to identify or enter industries where there's more VC funding coming in. But I think that's a wrong approach to be taking, because companies, the founders, they should have a vision, a problem they want to solve. And there's no shortage of problems in Pakistan which they could be trying to solve, right? There's so many sectors which are untapped. So even if you're, setting up a business in an existingly, in a sector which is existing and in a sector which has generally received more funding compared to another one which is kind of coming up with a new idea, I think both have equally good chances to succeed if the founders are good, if they're experienced, and the intent is not just capturing money, but it is to grow and build something sustainable, build something which will last, right? And that's what you've seen. These are the companies which have traditionally succeeded in Pakistan, internationally as well, which are making such a good offering of a product that despite the economic situations, people are still using those products. Investors are still funding those products. And that's the vision they should be going for. So go for sustainability, go for long-term profits rather than short-term, GMV growth.
Wonderful. And that will be all, Ms. Ayesha. Looking forward to seeing you at the Unconference 23.